minutes of live side split stretching and hip mobility work. We do this every single day to practice consistency, to build a little bit of community, to make the suffering we're about to put ourselves through a little bit more fun, a little bit more entertaining, so that it's easier to stay consistent. And in case you missed the first part, we're doing side splits and hip mobility. All right. Coney, I think, just said hi. Hello. Welcome. All right. It's time for us to begin. The first thing that we do is warm up together because I don't know what you've been doing before this, after this, whatever it is. We're going to warm up together. The first thing that we're going to do is called hip cars. Cars is capital C-A-R, controlled articulated rotation in plural with a little tiny s. All right. It looks like this. We're going to start by lifting our knee up as high as we can directly in front. Contract those muscles in the front of the hip. Lift a little higher, lift a little higher. Keep lifting as best as you can. From here, we're going to open up our hip. We're going to bring the knee over to the side. Ooh. We're going to flex our glute muscles here in the back when we do that to help pull our leg way wide. Oh, that way. Whew. Once you've done that, I want you to rotate the ankle up and bring the knee basically level. All right? From the side, it's going to look a little bit like this. But from the front, it looks like your ankle has disappeared like magic. From here, we're going to keep rotating. We're going to bring the knee down. We're going to lift the ankle a little bit more. You're going to feel it in your hamstrings. We're going to pause for a second. We're going to bring the leg down and back. When you bring the leg down and back from the front, right now, it's going to look like you're just lifting up your ankles, right? And that is kind of true. But what I want you to do is lift, flex the hamstrings, flex the glutes, feel the stretch right here in the front of your hip, and that is one rep. Oh, that was a lot of information. So if you're joining in for the first time, just focus on the idea that you're trying to lift your leg as high as possible, as wide as you can, and rotating as much as you can throughout the movement. I'm going to do the rest of these facing you so you can mirror me a little bit more easily. And I think that's all the talking I got. It's time to begin. Let's go. Stand up straight, hold on to something for balance if you need it, and high knee. Open, ankle up some more, down and back. That's one, high knee. Open, ankle up some more, down and back. That's two, hello, Che, welcome back, high knee. Open, ankle up, down and back. That's three, high knee. Open, ankle up, down and back. That's four, keep going, high knee. Open, ankle up, down and back. That's five. Ooh, I'm off balance. Ooh, my stabilizing leg is a little tired. Keep going, high knee. Open, ankle up, down and back. That's six. I think Chase sending a whole bunch of gifts. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Oh, ankle up, down and back. That's seven, high knee. Open, ankle up, down and back. That's eight. Keep going. Remember, the goal is to use your own muscles to lift and pull and rotate your leg into position. That's nine, high knee. Open, ankle up, down and back. That's 10. Whew. If your hips are tired, or if the stabilizing muscles here in your other leg are tired, that is completely normal. That's what happens when you do a lot of crazy stuff and take forever with it. We're going to move on to the other leg now. All right. But before we do that, if your legs are stiff, if your hips are stiff, do a little shake, do a little wiggle, let the muscles relax a little bit. And I think we're out of excuses. We're out of procrastination. Let's get to it. Hold on to something for balance and other leg, high knee. High knee some more. Lift that knee. Open that knee over to the side. Rotate, ankle up. Rotate some more, ankle up some more, down and back. That's one, high knee. Open, ankle up, down and back. That's two, high knee. Open, ankle up, down and back. That's three, high knee. Open, ankle up, down and back. That's four, high knee. Open, ankle up, down and back. That's five, high knee. Open, ankle up, down and back. That's six, high knee. Open, ankle up, down and back. That's seven, high knee. Open, ankle up, down and back. That's eight, high knee. Open, ankle up, down and back. That's nine, last one, high knee. Open, ankle up, down and back. That's 10. Whew. Oh, if your legs are tired, if your hips are tired, that's normal. Take a second, shake it out, walk it out, do a couple of dance moves, and let's get ready to go in reverse. When we go in reverse, we're doing very much the same thing. We're just going in reverse order. All right. So we're going to start by bringing the leg down and back. Flex the hamstrings, flex the glutes. Lift that leg up to the side, rotate the knee down, ankle up, ankle down, knee up, and bring that knee to the front. We're doing 10 of those on the left, 10 of those on the right. I am much smoother and better at going backwards than forwards. I don't know why that is, but you'll see that happening real soon. Hold your hands out for balance. Hold on to something for balance if you need it. And let's go back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's one. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's two. Back. Side. Ankle. Ankle. Knee. That's three. Back. Side. Ankle. Ankle. Knee. That's four. Six more. Back. Side, ankle, ankle, knee. That's five. Keep going. Remember, we're contracting our muscles. We're trying to lift the leg high up behind us, high up to the side, rotating deep. Bring that knee down, lifting the ankle up. Bring the knee all the way up, lifting and forward. I think that's five. Is that only five? Back, side, ankle, ankle, knee. That's six. Back, side, ankle, ankle, knee. That's seven. Back, side, ankle, ankle, knee. That's eight. Two more back. Side, ankle, ankle, knee. That's nine. Last one. Back, side, ankle, ankle, knee. That's 10. Woo! If your hips are tired, that's normal. Take a second, walk it out, and get ready to finish up with the final leg. We're doing the same thing, just the leg that wasn't doing it so far. Oh, oh, oh. Okay. We got some self promotion. Jesse says, good, go. Okay, cool. All right, let's continue. Let's do the other leg. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's one. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's two. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's three. If you're regular, you've been doing this for a while, I want you to try your best to keep your body stable and have all the movement coming from where your leg connects to your hip bone. All right. And I'm just asking you to try your best. Does not have to be perfect. We're all working towards having stronger hips, stronger legs, more mobility, and it only happens if you're actually trying a little bit more every single day. All right, six. That does not mean that every single day has to be crazy. Just means that you shouldn't get too complacent. If it's starting to feel real easy for you, you could probably stand to work a little harder and lift a little bit more and focus. Oh, on days where it's just not possible. You're beat up from some other activity that you did. Maybe you're just really tired. Feel free to ignore what I just said. But if you're otherwise feeling good, you're like, today was a great day and you're feeling happy, make sure to contract those muscles a little bit more. Try to push a little harder. All right? Jackson and good vibes over on YouTube. Thank you, Jackson. All right. Those were our hip cars. Controlled articulated rotations. That's our first warm-up exercise. It's time for us to move on into warm-up exercise number two. We are folding at the waist. We're in our belly buttons down towards the ground. Feeling that stretch building in our hamstrings, and we're going to fold a little bit deeper, and a little bit deeper, and a little bit deeper. Keep on feeling the hamstrings, and bend one knee, straighten out the other, bring your belly button down a little bit more. From here, we're going to switch from side to side. So one leg is bent, one leg is straight, and we keep going from side to side, to side, to side, and there is not an exact number that we're aiming for, but I do want you to keep on aiming to fold a little bit deeper into your stretch, especially because I'm going to tell you about the rest of the show the whole time. We're doing 45 to 60 minutes of live side split stretching and hip mobility work. This is the hip mobility work. We do this every single day to practice consistency, to build a little bit of community, to make the suffering that we're putting ourselves through a little bit more fun, a little bit more entertaining, so that hopefully we can all make some progress together. So, if you know you need to work on your hip mobility, you know you want to eventually work to some side splits, and you need a little bit of help practicing consistency or some combination of those three things, make sure to hit follow, hit subscribe, and keep coming back. We do this live every single day, starting at 9 p.m. Eastern, which is 6 p.m. Pacific. And if you're here right now live, we started about 10 minutes ago. Cool? That is the time that we start every single day, no matter what, basically. Sometimes it's not the case, but that's like one day out of like 100 days. Cool? All right. Now that we've done a whole bunch of those, I want you to focus on bringing your belly button down a little bit lower. And a little bit lower, A little bit lower, a little bit lower, fold, and 5 more, and then we'll wrap up. All right, 5, 4. I keep on snapping my fingers today. I'm not sure why that is. I don't think I usually snap my fingers a whole bunch, but I'm really into snapping today. 1, 0. Pop into a little bit of a squat. Come back into standing. That is our second warm-up exercise. Whew. Do a little wiggle with your hips. Shake it out. Get some movement in your spine, and whew, relax. We're going to move on into our third move right now. The third move is somewhat related to our second move, in that we are going to bend one leg, we're going to straighten out the other, we're going to fold our belly button down. So we're in the same sort of starting position as before. But we're going to add to it to make it different this time is we're going to take the arm from the bent leg side, we're going to reach across to that straight leg, we're going to push off of the straight leg, not the knee, not the ankle, but the bone in between to help us rotate and twist our spine. This is thoracic rotation, all right? When we do this, I want you to try your best to extend your arm up into the air. I want you to try your best to rotate your neck to look at that hand, and then I want you to breathe. Inhale, exhale, and reach over your shoulder. That is half a rep. Let's do the other side. Bent leg, bent arm, straight leg. Open it up. Look at the hand. Inhale, exhale, and reach. That's 1 on each side. We're going to do 5 in total. Take your time. Make sure to breathe. Relax into it. When you exhale, really seriously let the air out of your lungs. It will help you rotate a little bit more. Cool? Let's do it again. Bent leg, bent arm, straight leg. Open it up. Look at the hand. Inhale. Exhale, reach. That's 2. And inhale. Exhale, reach. That's 2 again. Keep going. Inhale. Exhale, reach. That's 3. Again, inhale. Exhale, reach. That's 3. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale, reach. That's 4. Other side. Inhale. Exhale, reach. That's 4 again. Other side. Inhale. Exhale, reach. That's 5. Other side. Last one. Inhale. Exhale, reach. That is 5 on each side. Come back into standing. Give your spine a little bit. Might be feeling a little stretched out from all that stretching. I just want you to move your hips around a little bit, wiggle your spine, do a little body roll, and take advantage of that fresh new looseness to get a little bit of movement going. All right. In a couple of seconds, if there's some tightness, some stretching that you were feeling while you were doing that rotation, should chill out a little bit and you'll feel a little bit more at ease in just a little bit. If your delts, these shoulder muscles here on either side of your arm, it's feeling a little bit tense because you're like, I never reached that far back in my normal life. This is crazy. Don't worry about those. Those are also relaxed. You don't need them for anything else in the show, so they'll be fine in like a couple minutes. Cool? All right. It's time for us to move on into our fourth and final warm-up exercise. What we're going to do next is called the Cossack switch. It looks a little bit like this. We're going to open up our legs a little bit wider. We're going to drop into a little bit of a squat on one side. And on the other side, I kind of want you to keep your heel down, your toes kind of pointing out and away. There's another version of this, which kind of looks like this, where you can keep your foot flat on the ground. If your balance is not so good, you can try this variation. But generally, I prefer this one because it feels like there's a little bit more freedom of movement and it'll be easier to balance that way. All right. This leg, we're dropping to a squat. I want you to get as low as you can go. I obviously have been doing this live for 600 plus days in a row now, and I can get pretty low. But if you're new to the show, you're new to this type of hip mobility work, you might get stuck quite a bit higher up, and that's absolutely okay. Wherever you are at, we're going to try and mirror this position that you're at now on the other side. And that means we have to get there. Boom. If you're a little bit higher up, that getting from side to side might look a little bit like this. If you've been doing this for a while and you're a little bit lower, yours might look a little bit like this. You might need a little bit of support to help you over to the other side. So if you have a couch, coffee table, ottoman, or something, and you can give yourself a little bit of a hand as you shift from side to side, great. Please use it. Otherwise, if you're getting real low to the ground, you might not need the elevated hand support. You might be able to just put your hands on the floor, you crab walk over to the other side, and boom, get your butt over to the other side. I'm pretty sure I've demonstrated at least 3 reps, but we're going to count it all as 1. All right? We're gonna do 10 of these in total, and we're gonna wrap up our warm-ups. When you're ready, scoot your butt over to the other side, wherever you are, however you need to, and come on back. That's 2 reps. If you realize you don't need your hands, feel free to skip using your hands. That's 3. If you realize that you can go a little bit harder wherever you're at, you can't go any lower, but you still want to make it more difficult, you can try and sit up a little bit straighter. Lift your chest up, lift your head up. Stick your arms out in front of you and keep going. Across and back. I'm pretty sure this is 5. Let's do another. Across and back. At this point, if you're feeling a little bit of pressure in your knees, they're not really liking this side to side motion, we can make it a little bit gentler on the knees by coming up a little bit first, coming across, and then sinking on down into our deep stretched out position at the bottom. Come on up, across, and down. I think that's 7. We got 3 more, 8, 9, and 10. If you want, you can keep going with whichever variation makes sense for you. I want it to be slightly challenging, but not painful. So make adjustments as necessary. All right, that's 8. We're gonna wrap up with 2 squats. We're gonna power through off of this leg back into standing. We're gonna gently come down on the other leg, and then we're gonna power through out of that. We're gonna do that 2 times. You ready? I want you to inhale, exhale, and push your leg into standing. Slowly come down on the other side with control. Inhale, exhale, sink into that stretch, sink down. Then we're gonna inhale, exhale, and push all at the same time to come back up. You ready? Inhale, exhale, and push. Oh, that is 9. Last one. Ready? Inhale, exhale, sink into that stretch all the way at the bottom. Inhale, exhale, push, and come on through. Inhale, exhale, push. That's 10. We got one last leg. Come on down skillfully with control. Inhale, exhale, sink deeper into that stretch, and inhale, exhale, push. Ready? Inhale, exhale, push. And that is 10 reps of our Cossack switches, our Cossack slided things, and a couple of Cossack squats. That is our 4th and final warm-up exercise. And that means it's time to move on into the meat of our show. We're moving on into our stretches. If you've never been here before, and you're like, wait, that was the warm-up? What you talking about? Don't worry. This is a side splits and hip mobility show. What we've done so far is get our joints, get our hips, get our knees, our ankles, our feet prepared so that we can get into our stretches. And our hearts. Our hearts are warmed up because we're doing reps. The next thing we're going to move on into is our stretches. We're doing 5 of them, and the first one is a hamstring stretch. I recommend you go grab a little bit of padding for your knee. I have a yoga mat that I'm folding in half so I have enough cushioning to pad my knee. If you have a yoga mat, feel free to do the same. Maybe roll it up a couple more times to give you extra cushion. If you have a couch cushion, a decorative pillow, you want to go steal your dog bed, feel free to do that to pad your knee. If you have an old flip-flop, you lost one of them, maybe the same dog whose dog bed you were considering stealing stole your flip-flop, left it somewhere in the woods, and you haven't seen it in a couple of months, take that flip-flop, put it under your knee, and we're ready to continue. Sneakers that you particularly don't care about, sneakers that your kid don't fit in anymore, those will all work just fine to pad your knee. All right? Once you've grabbed something, we're going to get ready to get into our hamstring stretch. But before we get into it, I would like you to hit follow, hit subscribe, and remember, we do this show every single day starting at 9 p.m. So if you're already liking my personality, it's a good chance that you'll enjoy the rest of the show, and you should just hit follow right now. Cool? All right. We're moving on to our hamstring stretch. First thing I want you to do is extend one leg out in front while you're kneeling and keeping your upper body nice and straight and tall. All right. From here, I want you to take a big breath in. Inhale. I want you to slowly exhale, and I want you to fold your body forward. Bring your belly button down to your thigh. Exhale. Fold. Whee! Oh. As soon as your hamstrings tell you, stop it! No! What are you doing? And you're feeling that tension in your hamstrings, I want you to just chill, relax. You don't have to push, you can just relax. Inhale. Exhale, relax. Let gravity pull you down into the ground. Again, inhale. Exhale, relax. Sink a little further into the stretch if you can. Again, inhale. Exhale, relax. That is 3. Again, inhale. Exhale, relax. That's 4. Let your body flop into the floor. Let your body drape into the ground. One more breath. Inhale. Exhale, relax. That is 5.
If your back is rounded right now because your muscles are relaxed and you're just flopped over, great. That's fine. If your back is rounded right now because you're desperately trying to smash your face into your knee, turning yourself into a little ball, you're working too hard. Chill, relax. It's just breathing and letting gravity help you. All right? But now that's over. We're going to go on and move into the next session. We're going to bring the knee up into this nice lunge, approximately 90-ish degrees. We're going to try and fold our upper body down to that thigh the best that we can. If you can't fold all the way down for whatever reason, don't worry about it. Just try your best. Stick your hands down on either side of you for some support, for some balance, and then I want you to scoot your butt back, straighten out that leg, and see if you can get a nice deep hamstring stretch while you're here. We're going to do this 3 times. That was 1. Knee up, chest down, straighten it out. Woo! That's 2. Pause here for a second. Really feel that hamstring stretch and then come on out of it. Give your hamstrings a little break. Knee up, chest down, and straighten it out one last time. That's 3. From here, we're going to fold a little bit deeper. The goal here is to bring our belly button down towards the ground. To fold forward, we're actively using some muscles, contracting, trying to squeeze ourselves into a position that's a little closer to the floor. And when we're going to do this, when I say fold, every other time I say inhale, exhale, relax, I just want you to let gravity pull you down. When I say fold, I want you to try to bring your belly button down towards the ground. All right? It's time for us to do that. We're going to do something called the inhale, exhale, fold. Sounds just like inhale, exhale, relax, but it's completely different because one you're working and the other you're just chilling. Cool? What I want you to do right now is take a huge breath into your lungs, big one, and then slowly exhale all that air out. While you're taking your sweet time exhaling, I want you to focus on folding forward, bring your belly button down towards the ground, and that's it. That's the whole thing. Right after that, we're going to inhale, exhale, relax, and that's just letting gravity do its thing. All right, so we're going to fold once, and then we're going to relax. Cool? Cool. Let's go. Inhale, big breath in. Inhale. Slowly exhale and fold, fold, fold. Bring the belly button down towards the ground. Your hamstrings are crying at you just a little bit. And inhale. Exhale, relax. Let gravity take you to the floor. We're doing that 4 more times. The gravity taking you to the floor thing. Inhale. Exhale, relax. That's 2. Again, inhale. Exhale, relax. That's 3. When you take that big inhale, try not to pop up like an inflated balloon. Try to stay nice and low. Inhale. Exhale, relax. That's 4. One last one. Inhale. Exhale, relax. That is 5. Knee up, chest down, straighten it out. That's 1. Knee up, chest down, straighten it out. That's 2. Knee up, chest down, strain it out. That's 3. We're going to do the whole thing again, and then we'll be done. All right? Inhale, exhale, fold. Big breath in. Inhale. Slowly exhale, fold, fold, fold. Bring your belly button down towards the ground. Fold. Inhale. Exhale, relax. Let gravity pull you a little deeper into the ground. Again, inhale. Exhale, relax. Sink a little deeper because gravity is pulling you down. Inhale. Exhale, relax. That's 3. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale, relax. That's 4. 1 more. Inhale. Exhale, relax. That is 5. Knee up. Chest down. Straighten it out. That's 1. 2 more. Knee up. Chest down. Straighten it out. That's 2. Last one. Knee up. Chest down. Straighten it out. That's 3. We're hanging out here for 30 seconds. That's how we wrap this stretch, at least on this leg. 30, 29, 28. Keep breathing. Don't hold your breath. 26, 25, 24. If you have found that the inhale, exhale, relax has been super helpful in getting you to fold forward, you can do that the whole rest of the time. Inhale, exhale, relax. 15, 14, 13. Inhale, exhale, relax. 10, 9, 8, 7. Last one. Inhale, exhale, relax. 4, 3, 2, 1. 0. That is our stretch, at least on this leg. That felt like a lot. Don't worry, that's true. We're going to switch over to the other side though. So this leg is done for now. Bring the legs back underneath you, back into this kneeling position. Take your time with it. Sometimes your leg muscles are going to be like, what the heck was that? Ah! So take a chill, all right? Give yourself a moment. And then when you're here in this position, I want you to flex your glutes. I want you to flex your abs. These are big muscle groups that help stabilize your body. And after all that flopping and turning and rolling and whatever, sometimes you need to get your muscles firing. So that's what we're going to do. I want you to pretend like somebody's about to spank you real hard and you go, ah, and protect your butt. Flex your glutes hard. Now pretend somebody's going to punch you in the stomach. You go, and protect your abs. Flex the abs hard, flex the glutes hard, and relax. Whew. Now that you've woken up those muscles a little bit, we're going to continue by stretching the other leg. Other leg out in front. What I want you to do is fold your belly button down towards your thigh. Inhale. Exhale and fold. Ooh, as soon as your hamstrings say, whoa, that's crazy. Pause. Chill. Inhale. Exhale. Relax. Big breath in. Exhale, relax. Let gravity pull you down. Let your body drape over the floor. Inhale. Exhale, relax. That's 2. Again, inhale. Exhale, relax. That is 3. Keep going. Inhale. Exhale, relax. That's 4. We got one more. Inhale. Exhale, relax. That is 5. Knee up. Chest down. Straighten out that leg. You want to take your time with that straightening part, feeling the hamstring stretch, and you also want to take a little bit of time letting the muscle relax when you bring the knee up, you bring the chest down, and you slowly straighten it out. That's 3. From here, guess what time it is? We're folding a little bit more. You ready? Big breath in, slowly exhale, and fold. You got this? You got this. Let's go. Inhale. Slowly exhale, bring the belly button down, fold, fold, fold. Woo. Inhale. Exhale, relax. Let gravity pull you a little bit deeper into your stretch. Again, inhale. Exhale, relax. Sink a little bit deeper into that stretch. Again, inhale. Exhale, relax. That's 3. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale, relax. That's 4. Another. Inhale. Exhale, relax. That is 5. Knee up, chest down, straighten it out. That's 1. Feel that stretch in your hamstrings. Knee up, chest down, straighten it out. That's 2. Again, knee up, chest down, straighten it out. That's 3. Guess what time it is? It's time to fold again. Big breath in, slowly exhale, fold. You ready? Let's go. Inhale. Slowly exhale and fold, fold, fold. Bring the belly button down to the ground. Inhale. Exhale, relax. Let gravity pull you a little deeper into the ground. Again, inhale. Exhale, relax. That's 2. If you're regular, you've been doing this for a while, you probably know that I've been telling you to relax, let your body flop over. If you've been doing this for a while, I want you to experiment occasionally. You don't have to do this every time because your back will get really tired. But I want you to try and straighten out your back. That will make this forward fold portion that we're letting gravity pull us down a little bit more intense. You'll feel it in your hamstrings a little bit more. All right? We got 3 more. Let's go. Inhale. Exhale, relax. Sink a little deeper into that stretch. Inhale. Exhale, relax. That's 4. If you're not a regular, this is your first time, you don't have to worry about this back straightening business at all. Just focus on chilling, letting gravity pull you down. All right? Last one. Inhale. Exhale, relax. That is 5. Knee up, chest down, straighten it out. Ooh, feel that stretch in your hamstrings. Again, knee up, chest down, straighten it out. That's 2. Last one. Knee up, chest down, straighten it out. That's 3. We're hanging out here for 30 seconds. You ready? Let's go. 30, 29, 28, 27,
26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That is our stretch. Come on out of that stretch. Bring your legs in. Come back into that lunge for a bit. Bring your chest up and, oh man, rest for a second. Woo! Bring your legs back. Flex those glutes again. Flex those abs again. And give your hips, give your legs, give your hamstrings a second to recover from all that stretching. And we're going to move on into stretch number 2. What we're going to do next is called the butterfly stretch or the tailor's pose. What I want you to do for stretch number 2 is move your butt, your low back, your hips all up against the wall. All right? Butt, low back, shoulders, head up against the wall. Enjoy that nice straight posture for a second. Hopefully your walls aren't super hot so you actually get to cool off a little bit when you're leaning against them. Get a little relief. And then bring your feet together and pull your feet in towards your groin. All right. This is how we start our second stretch. This is a butterfly stretch. What I want you to do is push your knees down into the ground. And I want you to do that with your own muscles first, with your glutes and your outer thighs. When you are doing this, you will see your knees are moving down towards the ground, and you'll feel a more intense stretch here in your inner thighs. All right. Once you've understood which muscles you're trying to use, maybe they're not super strong, maybe you're not going far, that's absolutely okay because we're going to use some other muscles to help with this process. We're going to take our hands, we're going to push them down into the ground, and we're going to keep doing this for the next 6 breaths. All right? It's going to be about 30-ish, 40-ish seconds. What I want you to do is take a huge breath into your lungs, and then as you exhale nice and slow, I want you to push your legs deeper into the ground. So only on the exhale, you're pushing. On the inhale, you can just stay wherever you're at. Over the next 6 breaths, I want you to try and push a little deeper, a little deeper, a little bit deeper, a little bit deeper, and then we'll be done. That's it. That's the whole thing. You ready? Let's go. Inhale. Exhale and push. Woo, that's 1. If you're feeling a really sharp, intense sensation, like somebody just poked you really aggressively, that's possibly a reason for you to stop. But if you're just feeling standard discomfort from stretching, keep going. All right? Inhale. Exhale and push. That's 2. Inhale. Exhale and push. That's 3. Keep going. Inhale. Exhale and push. That's 4. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale and push. That's 5. Last one. Inhale. Exhale and push. Bring those legs down towards the ground. That is 6. All right. If you've never been on the show before and you have found that you're pushing your legs further than you ever thought possible, then I want you to remember that taking some time, warming up, lets your body do crazy things. All right. Trying to get it all in one go, typically your body's not going to be super prepared and ready for that because it's hard. So don't forget to warm up and do a little steady. Take some time, and you'll see massive amounts of change. Okay? All right. I've never said that sort of spiel before, and I clearly was not practiced with it because it came out all weird. Anyways, we're going to move on into our next stretch. Before we do that, though, I want you to shake out your wrists just a little bit. Make sure that they're not super tired from pushing your legs down. I want you to also flap the wings of your butterfly, flap your legs up and down so that your hip muscles, your leg muscles wake up a little bit before we jump into our third stretch. We're going to do some pancakes. The pancakes are a superpower stretch because they stretch a whole bunch of stuff and they're really hard. That's why we don't do them first. Let's come on up off the ground, move your butt support or whatever it is that you are using to pad the ground out of the way, and let's get into our pancake. I generally recommend, if you're brand new to this, to start standing because when you open up your legs a little bit and you fold forward, when you are at this angle, for most people, you'll probably be somewhere like here or somewhere down here before your hamstrings tell you to quit it. And when you are in this range, gravity is going to help you the most in pulling you down towards the ground. That is what we want. We want gravity to give us as much assistance while we fold forward as possible. I probably should have started by telling you that the purpose of the pancake, the goal, is to fold your upper body in between your legs. And as you get better and better at this, you can keep a straighter back, and you can also open up your legs a little bit more wide. If your balance is not so good, it might not be very sensible for you to start these standing. If you need to, I recommend that you sit down on something pushed up against the wall so that your seat can't slide away and you can continue focusing on folding forward from there. All right. But if you don't need it, keep going standing because chances are gravity is going to give you a little bit more assistance if you're brand new to the show. All right. I think that's enough talking. Let's get into it. Legs are going wide just a little bit. We're folding forward. Legs can go wider if you want. Extend your arms past your ears so that gravity feels even more intense. Inhale. Exhale. Let gravity pull you down into the ground. And we're hanging out here for 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28. If you've been doing this for a while, you're a regular. Try to compress, use your hip muscles, use your core muscles, trying to squish yourself a little deeper into the ground. This will train your muscles to get really good at squeezing and lifting your legs, when you're not facing downwards. And those are all good skills to have. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16. Try to keep your back relatively straight for at least the first like 45 degrees of the stretch. As you get deeper and deeper into the stretch, it's okay if your back has a little bit of bend. But until then, try to keep the back straight. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That is a pancake stretch. Put your hands down. Take some pressure off your legs. Try to bring your legs in together if they're kind of wide. You can wiggle your toes, your heels, your toes, your heels, your toes, your heels until your legs are underneath you. Walk your hands up those legs, and that is our pancake stretch. That's the third stretch. We're going to move right on into stretch number 4. Stretch number 4 is the figure 4 stretch. You got the other option of doing a pigeon stretch if you prefer. If you're a regular, you know which one you like. You can feel free to jump into whichever one you like. But today, I'm going to demonstrate the figure 4 because last night we did the pigeon. All right? Figure 4 and the pigeon both have the same fundamentals. They look a little bit like this. I'm going to demonstrate first. You don't have to do this. We're taking one leg. We're crossing it over to the other side so that this ankle is resting above the knee, and we're going to fold forward and we're going to bring the leg up to the chest down to the leg. When you're doing this, you're going to feel a stretch here in the side of your hip. This is a glute muscle. You're also going to feel a little bit right here in the front of your hip where you're doing the folding. And because your leg is rotating and you're doing all this, you might feel a bit in your hamstrings. Okay? That's all you need to know. Let's get to the floor. The figure 4 we do laying down on our backs. I got to move this out of the way first, but get your butt to the ground. Oh. That's nice. Lay down for a second and enjoy the fact that you're laying down. Catch your breath, and let's get ready to begin. We're taking one leg. We're crossing over to the other side. We're making a nice triangle. We're sticking one arm through the triangle, other arm around the outside, and we want to grab onto the knee that is not crossed. All right, like this. For the next 3 breaths, I want you to inhale, exhale, and then pull your leg in towards your chest. All right, inhale, exhale, and pull. Let's do it again. Inhale, exhale, and pull. Woo. Let's do it again. Inhale, exhale, and pull. At this point, you should have pulled your knee closer into your chest, and you might also be noticing that your knee is a little bit uncomfortable. That's not going to apply to everyone, but if you are feeling a little discomfort sort of on the outside of your knees, and you're feeling like when you pull on your ankle, it's putting a lot of pressure on your knee, you can help this process by cupping the knee or sticking your knee in your elbow and pulling on it directly. When you apply force to here, instead of here to pull onto here, it will take some pressure off the knee joint and everything will feel nicer. All right, I hope that makes sense. I'll repeat it. Palm onto knee. elbow onto knee, pull everything in. Cool. We're hanging out for 30 seconds, and that's all we got left. Pull, 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 pull some more. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25. Keep breathing. Don't hold your breath. Pull that leg in. 23, 22, 21, 20. I find that when I take really loud exhales and inhales, it is extra motivating for me to pull my leg in. I don't know why that is, but if you want to, try it. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That is our first figure four stretch. We're only doing two. We got to just do one on each side. So take a second, relax, let your body chill out from that, and switch over to the other side. Other leg, crossed. One hand through the triangle, other hand all the way around. Try to pull that knee in towards you. Inhale. Exhale and pull. Again, inhale. Exhale and pull. Woo. Inhale. Exhale and pull. Again, if this knee is bothering you, cup the knee with your palm or stick it in your elbow and get ready to pull it in. 30 seconds. Let's go. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21. Keep on pulling. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, release the leg. You might have noticed while you were upside down that one leg pulls much closer to your chest than the other. That is completely normal. Just like you have one hand that's more capable than the other that you always favor to practice stuff, or maybe you have one arm that's a little stronger than the other when you're doing push ups. Chances are you got one leg that's a little stronger, you got one leg that's a little bit more flexible. Maybe that's the same leg, and that's normal. This is why we separate the stretches into one leg at a time so you can find out which legs need a little bit more support, need a little bit more love. All right? That was our fourth stretch. We got five stretches in total, and the fifth one is coming right up. If you somehow don't know yet, we're doing 45 to 60 minutes of live side split stretching and hip mobility work. We do this every single day to practice consistency, to build a little bit of community, to make the suffering we keep putting ourselves through a little bit more fun, a little easier to stay entertained by, and hopefully a little easier to stay consistent with, so we all make some progress together. If you like the show so far, make sure to follow, hit subscribe, and keep coming back because we do this live every day at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, which for most of you means we started like 45 minutes ago. Cool? All right, it's time to move on into our fifth and final stretch. We're doing some side splits. If you've never done them before, we walk you through a bunch of steps to make it a little bit easier to understand, to make it a little safer, to make it a little bit more comfortable. And that means the first thing I want you to do is to go grab some hand support. I am currently at a friend's house, and so I make do with what I got. What I have is 38 pounds of kitty litter. All right, and the way we're going to use this hand support is like this. So we're going to fold forward, put our hands down so that we can support some of our body weight when we let our legs go a little bit wider. We don't want all of our body weight into our legs because that will exhaust our legs really fast and it'll make us feel really scared when our legs are slipping. We're like, oh my gosh, we have no control. So that's why we have some hand support. What you use for hand support is up to you. Generally, I use a little folding stool off of Amazon, and it's about the same height, weighs like 4 pounds. What is important is that it is stable enough for me to put all of my weight on it, and it is light enough for me to move it out of the way when I don't want it to be there, when I want to get out of a stretch. All right. So if you can think of something in your own home that serves that purpose, please use that. I, right in front of me, also have 40 cans of cat food, which I think for our purposes would work just fine. Seems
like it actually might be less noisy than the cat litter. Today I'll try it without. It's also, I think, a little lighter. Not by much, but it's a little bit lighter than the cat litter. So I'll use this today. All right. If you have a coffee table, an ottoman, if you have a kitchen chair, those will all work. Just make sure that it's stable enough. It's not a super wobbly chair. Find the most stable version of whatever that you're using. Cool. Now that hopefully you've grabbed whatever it is that you're going to use for the stretch, let's take our hand support and bring it with us until we bring our butts to a wall. I want you to rest your butt against the wall. I want you to lean back into the wall. Try not to knock over any paintings behind you. And let your legs go a little bit wider. All right? From here, we're going to fold and we're going to put our hands on our hand support. Whee! Hands on our hand support. Let your legs go just a little bit wider. Let your butt slide down the wall. And we're going to prepare to rotate our legs. What I want you to do is rotate your legs backwards 90 degrees so that your toes are pointing up, your heels are down, your knees are pointing up in a way, and your inner thighs, this chunk of your inner thigh, is pointing forwards. All right, we got to do this on both sides. I recommend you put your hands down first because you're going to put a lot of pressure onto your heels, and if you're not used to it, it might feel like a lot. So, hands down, let the legs rotate. Heels are down, toes are up, knees are up. And from here, I want you to adjust your hand support. I want you to lean forward, but let your butt slide down the wall until you find a nice deep spot where you're not feeling like you're about to lose balance. You don't feel like you're about to slip. You're feeling almost okay, like you can hang out here for a little bit. Once you've found that spot, we're gonna breathe. We're gonna try and relax. We're gonna try and let the muscles lengthen so you can get a little bit deeper. You ready? Let's go. Inhale. Hold that breath. Slowly exhale and sink a little deeper. Whew. If you sink aggressively and you've shifted into a new spot where all of a sudden you're not in control anymore, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm sliding, I'm falling, your muscles are tensing up, feel free to pause, adjust, wiggle, let your butt lean against the wall, adjust your hand support, and find that comfortable, perhaps lower spot again. And let's breathe again. Inhale. Hold. Exhale, relax. Sink a little deeper into your stretch. Last one. Inhale. Hold. Exhale, relax. Sink a little deeper into your stretch. All right. It's probably hard for you to tell, but I'm leaning quite far forward with my chest right now, and that is helping me to stay balanced. So if you're sitting up really perfectly straight and you keep on slipping a lot, that might be a quick tip that might help. All right. From here, we're basically ready. We're going to double check that our heels are down, our toes are up, our knees are pointing up, and we're going to hang out here for 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28 is our first side split. 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22. If you feel like you got a little bit of wiggle room, feel free to try to shift your heels out a little bit to the right, to the left, to the right, to the left, to the right, to the left. See if you can sink a little bit deeper, but no pressure. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, that's it. If your hand support is light enough to slide out of the way, go ahead, slide it out of the way. Walk your hands forward a little bit. Bring your legs in underneath you. The hand support I was just using, I probably could have crawled right over it and not had to slide out of the way, but whatever works for you and whatever it is that you're using. All right. If it's really big and you have a coffee table and an ottoman, you might want to, kind of push it, but also slide your body at an angle and kind of slide around it or something like that. So how you get out of this stretch will depend on what you're using. All right. Now that you have hung out here for a couple of seconds, let's come on back up into standing. And I should probably tell you that we're doing 3 rounds of these. We've only done one. We got two more. Two more. I forgot how to count. So ignore my fingers. Just listen to the words I said. What we're going to do next is shake out our legs. All right. What we just did was put a whole bunch of tension into our legs. Now we want as little of it left as possible so that we can drop into a deeper stretch. What I want you to do is slowly shake out your legs. Give a little flop, give a little shake, give a little wiggle.
I want you to look at your ankle, hold on to something for balance if you need to, because you might lose balance once you're staring at your foot. And I want you to see that your ankles are flopping side to side, back and forth, maybe doing little circles. The reason why we're shaking our legs is because I want you to know that your leg muscles are starting to relax a little bit. They're getting floppy, they're getting loose, they're getting wiggly, and there's a good chance they're relaxed. Other leg. Shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Flop, 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 flop. Over time, as you do these pretty often, you'll start getting faster and faster at the art, the skill of letting your muscles relax. And it'll strangely apply to a whole bunch of things. When you're all tense, you're all stressed out about something, you'll just be like, shake, 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 shake. And then your muscles relax. And then maybe you'll also relax because your body and your mind work a little together like that sometimes. Cool? All right. Hopefully your legs are relaxed now, or ish. Let's move on to our hips. I want you to put all of your weight into one leg, and I want you to put the big toe or the ball of your foot down on the side so that your knee is a little bit bent. I want you to bend and point this knee directly to the left or to the right, depending on, whatever direction this is for you. Okay? I want you to flex your glutes to help bring that knee pointing that way. And then I want you to do the opposite. I want you to flex the inner thigh muscles here to bring your knees in. If your legs are close enough, I want you to try to bring your knees to touch each other. And then do the opposite. Bring it all the way out. In, and out, and in, and out. This is really good for working a couple of deep hip muscles, working on that rotation in the leg, building some control. But once you've understood what muscles you're using, you've got some control, you've built some strength, we really care that you're more relaxed. All right? So you can start shaking it out a little bit more, do a little wiggle, do a little dance, let your muscles flop all over the place. And if you're not quite sure how to do that just yet, you can just start shaking in and out and 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 in and out. Cool? Next, hopefully, has one leg, one hip, a little bit more relaxed. Let's do the other side. All of your weight is in one leg. Big toe is down on the other side. If you're new, remember we're focusing on contracting those muscles, really getting that maximum range of motion so that you have skill, you have power, you have control, and then once you're a little bit more comfortable with it, you can go a little bit faster. You can turn into a dance move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And your hips are probably good. One last final shake. Let's get into side split number 2. Cool? All right. Grab your hand support. I got my 40 cans of cat food. And let's bring it to the wall. Butt up against the wall. Let's get ready to fold. Legs a little bit wider. Hands on your hand support. Bring the legs out and the hand support in towards your legs. From here, we're going to rotate the legs. Heels are down, toes are up, knees are up. Heels are down, toes are up, knees are up. Inner thighs are pointing forward. We're going a little bit faster now because I explained a lot more detail the first go around. If you need more detail, let me know in the chat and I'll improve it next time. But for today, we're going a little faster now. Cool? Let your butt slide down the wall. Sink a little deeper into your stretch and let's get ready to breathe. Inhale. Hold that breath. Exhale, relax. Sink a little deeper into your stretch. That's 2. Again, inhale. Hold. Exhale, relax. See if you can sink a little deeper into your stretch. My chest is leaning quite far forward while my butt is resting against the wall, while my hands are on my hand support, and while my legs are going wide. All right? This helps me to balance. Try and experiment and find your own variation to this. Our bodies are going to have different proportions. So how far you have to lean forward is going to be different from how far I have to lean forward. And so experiment. One more breath. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Relax. Sink a little deeper into your stretch. Now, add a little wiggle to the right, to the left, to the right, to the left, to the right, to the left, to the right. And we're ready for side split number 2. All right. What we're going to do differently this time compared to before is we're going to lean forwards. When you lean forwards, I want you to feel the stretch more intensely in your inner thigh muscles. And your knees, your toes will likely be kind of pointing up at a diagonal at around 45-ish degrees. Your hands will probably be in front of you and they might look like you're doing a little bit of a push-up situation. All right? 30 seconds. Let's do it. 29, 28, 27. Keep breathing. Don't hold your breath. 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, we're done. Walk your hands forward just a little bit. Give your legs some space. Bring your legs in underneath you slowly with control. Do not rush this part, especially if you're feeling tired. The more tired you are, the more you rush, the easier it is to hurt yourself. All right, so reserve a little bit of energy. Bring your legs in with control. Cool? Sit back, relax, chill, flop on the floor, do whatever you want for a couple seconds while your legs recover. And when they're recovered enough, let's come back into standing. Ugh. Grunt, groan, make as many sound effects as you need to. Let's shake out those legs and get ready for side split number 3. Shake, 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 shake. Hold on to something for balance if you need it. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Flop, 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 flop. Shake some more, wiggle some more, flop some more, and switch to the other side. Shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Flop, 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 and whew. Relax. Do a little dance. Shake your hips, move your ankles. Make sure your legs are working okay, and let's move on into our hips. All of your weight is in one leg. Big toe is down and knee in and out and 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 whew, other side. Let's go. All your weight on one leg. Big toe is down, or the ball of your foot is down. In and out, and 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 in and out. I'm a big believer of making all the movement as fun as possible, as entertaining as possible, making everything a little bit of a dance so that you feel good while you're feeling looser. So I hope some of this is entertaining, some of this is funny, and some of this you go, ooh, I like this, and you integrate it a little bit into your own life. So you start just dancing randomly out of the blue so that your hips move better and it doesn't feel like working. Doesn't feel like working out. It feels like you're just having a little bit of fun and you get all the benefit. All right? What time is it? It's time for side split number 3. Y'all ready? Let's go. Grab your hand support, bring it to the wall. I think the heavier bag of kitty litter is a little bit more supportive, so I'm going to use this time. Bring your hand support over to the wall, butt against the wall. Let the legs go wide and let's fold. Whee! Hands on your hand support. And sink your butt down towards the ground. Rotate the legs, heels are down, toes are up, knees are up. Remember, we're using the wall for butt support, and we're using the hand support in front of us. We're basically pinching our bodies between the wall and between our hand support and letting our hips go straight down to the ground as much as we can. All right? And hopefully that takes a little bit of pressure off of your legs. Next, breathe, inhale. Hold. Exhale, relax. Sink a little deeper into your stretch. Again, inhale. Hold. Exhale, relax. See if you can sink a little bit deeper. And let's go for a third. Inhale. Hold. Exhale, relax. I don't know why I'm saying the hold in this funny way. That's 3. Do a little wiggle to the right, a little wiggle to the left, see if you can get just a little bit more range out of your hips. And when you're ready, it's time for side split number 3. You got options. You can do side split number 1, where our heels are down, our toes are up, your knees are pointing up. You're going to feel it more in your hamstrings. You can do side split number 2, where you emphasize your inner thighs a little bit more, and you feel it here. I'm going to do a variation of side split number 2, and we're going to hold it for about 40 seconds. If 40 seconds feels crazy to you, feel free to stop early. Okay? Get ready? Let's go. 40, 39, 38, 37, 36, 35, 34, 33, 32, 31, 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23. Ooh, that's pointy. I don't like that. 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Hands down. Take your time with this. This part really matters because if you're super tired, I want you to be extra careful. Bring your legs in underneath you, nice and slow with control. And relax. Sit back on your heels, sit on the floor, flop on the ground, give up. I don't know what you're doing. That's okay. I can't see you anyway. Grunt, groan, make as many sound effects as you want. And when you've had just enough rest, let's come back into standing. Let's shake it out one last time and get ready to do our joint checks and wrap up. Shake out those ankles. Shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Flop, 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 flop. Relax those leg muscles. Do the other side. Shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Flop, 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 flop. Relax those leg muscles. Do a little dance and jump around. Do some whoosh, cool moves. Make sure your legs are working, and let's move on into our hips. All of your weight is one leg, big toe is down and in and out, 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 and in and out. Other side, in and out, and 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 in and out. Ooh. Just a reminder, because I went through those really fast. The only thing that's moving when we do those is this side bone where it connects into the hip. All right. Everything else I'm moving, that's just for fun. The only thing that's important is you're getting the thigh bone here to rotate in the hip socket. Cool? All right. Joint checks. We got two moves left. Hip circles, calf raises. And we're done. Hip circles. I want you to take your time, slowly, really focus, lean into your hips. Feel that stretch in the side. Let your butt come all the way around. We're not even done yet. People are sending thank yous. Thank you for being here. Bring your hip all the way to the other side. Push those hips forward. Come on all the way around and keep going. Take your time with it. If you feel like there's a spot that's a little sore, a little tender, you want to give it some extra time, you just want to hang out there, feel free to hang. No problem. Whew. And if you want, you can also take a mental note and then spend a whole bunch of time on it later. Switch sides, go the other way around. And oh, grunt, groan, make as many sound effects as you need to, as always. I can't hear you, so I don't mind. Not one little bit. I encourage you to grunt because it makes everything feel a little bit easier when you do. Let's continue with our calf raises. What I want you to do is keep your legs about hips width apart. Not super wide, not super narrow, about hips width apart. We're going to pop into a squat from the front or from the side. It might look a little bit like this. I want you to lean your chest pretty far forward, and I want you to push your knees pretty far forward. When you're in this position, I want your toes to be working really hard, trying to keep you from falling forward, because they're the only thing holding you back. When they're working super hard, the arch of your foot should also be working hard to keep your feet stable. When you push your knees forward, you should be feeling a stretch here in your Achilles tendon, in your calves. And now your quads are probably sore from this sorority squat. Your low back is tired from this sorority squat. So let's do some calf raises. Come on up, lift your heels. If you need to, stay really close to a wall so you can hold on to it for support or hold your hand support from earlier. And keep on coming up and down and up and down and up and down. Reset. Push those knees forward. Lean forward. Up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down and whew. When your calves are about ready to quit, or your quads, or your low back, or whatever muscle we put through some torture testing just now, feel free to wrap. If you were able to do like 75, 80% of that movement, because it was a complicated movement, there was a lot to it. If you're able to do 75, 80%, chances are you're probably fine and go back to whatever else you have to do, right? Because we've worked our toes, we worked the arch of our feet, we had the calf stretch into a calf raise, so we controlled and built strength in that whole entire calf range of motion. Our quads were tired from holding the sorority squat. Our low back was sore from leaning over. Our hips, our knees, our ankles, our feet, they were all working real hard together. And that's it. That's the whole show. Congratulations. We are done with yet another day of side splits and hip mobility. Thank you for being here. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you're cooling off now and chilling. I'm going to bring this chair over so I have something to lean against so that my knees are not just hanging on for dear life on the floor. Whew. Mo Port over on YouTube says, please remember to take a rest and drink some water while streaming, sir. Hey, thank you. I appreciate the support and the smart tip to stay hydrated. Coney says, thank you. You're welcome. Thank you. I saw you come in the very beginning, say hi, and now you're saying thank you. I think this might be the first time, Coney. I think you've been on the live, or at least commentating in the live. So thank you for the support. Thank you for hanging out in the chat. I hope you felt some good vibes, vibes, and I hope you come back soon. Helen says, thank you. Welcome, Helen. Arlene is back, I think. Hello, I'm sad I'm late. Hey, don't worry. We do the show every single day. You can just come back tomorrow. Cool. Fayaga sent us some roses. Thank you for the support. Yatarati says, nice hamstrings, Ken. Oh, thanks. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I don't know. Did you get like a side view when we were doing some folds and stuff? Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna take a look at the chat and scroll around real quick to see if there's anything I need to address, and then we'll wrap up. Let's see. It is currently 8 minutes into the hour. There's still 67 of you across the two platforms. So this might not take very long. Seems like it will be a quick live. Jax says hi over on YouTube. Queen R says hello. Jax is sending lots of awesome emojis. Thank you for the support, Jax. Lois says hello. Hey, PK, welcome back. He says, it took me a bit to make it, but I'm here. Welcome back. Momini Lok4042 says hi. Hello. Jax is welcoming people, and Lois says thank you. Quick chat over on YouTube. Thank you everybody for coming in, bringing in the support. I wonder what that is. Is that a spoon in a cup, or is that like a drink with a straw? Thank you, Jax. Oh, Jax is telling me to drink some water in conjunction with Mopor, who told me to drink water. Okay. Is my mouth dry or lips dry or something? I was telling me to drink water. Malky says, do the other mobility exercises and skip the middle splits for safety. Injuries slow progress. Ooh, is this in response to somebody else? Let's see. Your Jazz says, I can't do that. I'm new here. That's absolutely okay. All right. The instructions for the live are going to stay the same pretty much for everybody. What I do when I'm demonstrating the moves is gonna potentially look a little advanced because I've been doing some version of this show for 600 plus days. I started this live because I knew I wanted to work on my side splits and wanted to work on my hip mobility. So this show, at the moment at least, is still me working on my side splits and working on my hip mobility. I've just been making some progress steadily over time. Now I'm a lot lower to the floor than before. So if it looks overwhelming, if it looks crazy, please, I promise you, and you can check the proof over on YouTube because every single one of these lives for the last several hundred days, probably close to 400 days, have been uploaded right over onto YouTube. And you can check when I say the instructions have stayed mostly the same. Sometimes it changed the way I say stuff, but it's not like, hey, bring your hips down extra low to the floor compared to normal or compared to last month. It's let your hips touch the wall, drop on down. Actually, the butt on the wall thing is kind of new, but the instructions, I promise, are basically the same. They apply throughout your range of motion, no matter how low to the ground you are or how high, not on the ground, you are. Um, I hope that gives you a little bit more encouragement, and I hope you feel excited because you got real proof once you go check it out over on YouTube that me doing the same exercises over and over and over and over again leads to progress over time. Cool? All right. Gatarati says stay high, not low like bro. That's totally okay. If you are less flexible and you need to be higher up off the ground, perfect place for you to be. All I ask is that you try to make sure that you make the show slightly challenging for you. Doesn't have to look like mine. Shouldn't look like mine because your mobility probably isn't the same as my mobility. All right. Malky says, do the other mobility exercise and skip the middle splits for safety. Injury slows progress. That is a perfectly reasonable first way to start, especially because the message came in the middle of the chat. If you haven't had a chance to warm up, if you haven't been here for the whole live, feel free to skip a couple of movements, especially if you feel a little scared, feel a little uncomfortable. When we do the middle splits, I try to give you a whole bunch of stuff to help reduce the intensity, right? The reason why we have the hand support is so that your upper body can support some of your body weight, so that your legs aren't holding up your whole entire body. With a little bit of support, your legs feel a little bit lighter. With a little bit of support, your legs also don't have to focus so much on balancing because we can put our butt up against the wall and let the wall take care of some of the scary stuff. So that's why we do the hand support and we do the butt support and why we let our butt slide down the wall. It's not the only way. to do a middle split. It's not the only way to train a middle split, but I feel like for somebody coming into the life for the first time, working on a normal person's range of motion, attempting to do a middle split, having more support is going to be way more useful than having less support. So that's the way, that's the why I teach it the way that I do. And let me know if you like it. Let me know if you like. There's some other videos of people doing middle splits and going, "Oh, I don't know how we would start doing that." And if you feel like my instructions, maybe they still don't look the easiest, but they make it feel like I'm at least conscious that you need a little bit more support. Okay, let's scroll through the chat a little bit more and see what else we got. We got a whole bunch of nices and thank yous. I'm gonna scroll. Che sending some awesome emojis of me enjoying bananas. Those, I guess those are called stickers. Thank you for the support, Che. Suri is dropping in to say hi, fam. Welcome back, Suri. Thank you for popping in, sending in good vibes. I appreciate it. Little says, get that deep stretch. Yeah! Yes, yes, indeed. Vana Yoga Story says, thank you, Ka. I'm from Thailand. Welcome, Vana. Thailand's awesome. Morningstar says, my leg is so mad at me. If it's mad at you because you don't do the stretches very often and it's like just mad for the moments that you're stretching and then much happier after you've stretched, that's a good thing. But if they stay mad, you might want to take it chill for a day or two and then get back to moving. If you are experiencing pain and discomfort in the leg that you're stretching, you might want to take it a little bit more gentle, but also you might want to focus a little bit more on strengthening the leg muscles because just stretching might not be enough to fix up whatever it is that you're struggling with. Cool? All right. Let's see. Chase says every night 9 p.m. Eastern and on the weekends 9 a.m. Ooh, somebody must have asked. Planting Roses asks, please let me know when you have your lives. Yes, it's every night at 9 p.m. Eastern, which is 6 p.m. Pacific, which means we started an hour and 14 minutes ago. The live usually runs about an hour, and then we do 15, 20 minutes of Q&A and just me saying thank you a bunch of times at the end. So if that fits your schedule, come on back and we'll see you real soon. Che is responding to Buddha. Let's see. Uh, Buddha says that dog lost flip flop in the woods comment seems oddly specific. Yes, my best friend's family dog would take all sorts of things and leave them in the woods behind their house. So oftentimes there will be gloves, socks, sneakers, flip flops lost underneath the deck of the house all winter. Um, in the woods, occasionally they'll find something. More often than not, you just won't even recognize it as yours because it's been lost there for a while. Because we're generally all adults now, so we're not spending time wandering the backwoods as much. And so if one family member goes in to clean up, I don't know, once a year, you might find some random stuff and be like, oh, wow, that's been missing for forever. That's the oddly specific story, but it's a true story, and I thought y'all might enjoy it. Thank you for calling out, Buddha, so I could explain what the context was. All right, Chase sending more dog stickers. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Amelia is back. Welcome back, Amelia. And I think we're probably reaching the top of the chat real soon. Jesse says, "Good, go," and then sent a whole bunch of stuff. Thank you for sending all those things, Jesse. Excuse me. All right, that looks like that's about it. We got anything left? We got anything left? I'm gonna scroll all the way back down, take one last look at the chat, and I think that is everything. All right. Rachel Moore on YouTube says, dude, thank you for what you do. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sending good vibes. I appreciate it. The emotional support is super helpful for me too. All right. That's it for today. Thank you all for coming in, practicing a little bit of consistency, working on your side splits, your hip mobility. We are wrapped for today. We are an hour and 16 minutes in, and I am glad because that means the banana bread my girlfriend is baking should be done real soon, and I get to go eat it as soon as I finish this. Whew. Anyways, we have lives every single day starting at 9 p.m. Eastern, which means we started an hour and 17 minutes ago, and we do that 7 days a week. On weekends, somebody asked this question earlier. On Saturday and Sunday mornings, we have a 9 a.m. Eastern live, and that one is generally gentle joint mobility, working through each of our joints and trying to give you some tools to help you move a little bit smoother through the range of motion each of your joints should have. But yesterday, I think we had two or three people request that we do more of the gentle joint mobility during the week. So tomorrow on Wednesday, I'm gonna try that midweek and see what the feedback looks like. If it's good, then maybe we'll stick with sprinkling a couple of the light, gentle joint mobility in throughout the week. And if the feedback is not so good, then we'll go back to side splits and hip mobility. All right, so that's what we're doing tomorrow, and you can look forward to that. If you have absolutely no idea what that is, because you're on TikTok and you're only on TikTok and this is the first time that you're joining today, if you want, I guess you can go check it out over on YouTube. If you go find the Saturday or a Sunday and you go check the videos that got uploaded on that Saturday or that Sunday, one of the two videos is going to be joint mobility, at least the last couple of weeks, and you'll know what that is then. Cool? Because I'm not prepared to send you any links. Because I'm only remembering to tell you about this right at the very end of the live. Anyway, that's it. That's all I got. I'll see you guys real soon. Suri says, have a good night, everyone. Ooh, Suri, you're still here. Medea says, good night. Amelia sends a heart, and that's it. That's all we got. Closing out. I'll see you guys real soon, and hope you have a great rest of